So this is a video review for the Art of Magic, Magic and Mayhem. This game which was released around 2000, can best be described as a magic casting adventure game. For the purposes of this video, I should point out that the game was played on various speeds, for gameplay reasons, should you notice that. Now, in true fantasy style, the Art of Magic starts off with a cutscened intro, which unfortunately is about the only one you get through the game, as this, like other games, chooses the easy route and chooses to use this in-game engine. And like others that do this, it looks fairly chunky, and the voice acting leaves a lot to be desired. The general story is that there are 3 orbs of power, chaos, neutral and law, given to 3 races by a fella called the Magistrator. He dies, and eventually the neutral orb of Albion gets destroyed in a Chernobyl-esque disaster, which leaves chaos and law, which just leaves them basically. Now, the elves are in control of the lawful orb, and a la Lord of the Rings, they bugger off somewhere else just as things are getting bad with chaos. We join Aurorax of Albion, who wakes up following his coming-of-age birthday celebrations, where he boasts to his father about how many hotties he was banging the other night and how many joints he did, before his father tells him to bugger off to the woods to look for his sister. She shows herself using magic and tells him he has magic abilities and he's had it all this time, but just no one's told him about it. So if there was ever a place for the silent treatment, I think she would deserve it, because what, she's your sister of 16 to 18 years and didn't bother telling you? It's a bit much, really. Anyway, you return to the village after a quick tutorial about casting spells, at first just using fireballs and wolves, and to find that chaos has come to your village and destroyed it and killed your father. Then only to have some geezer called Malicious abduct your magical sister for unknown purposes, which really starts your quest to get your sister back. The cutscenes aren't the worst I've ever seen. That prize probably goes to Stronghold 2, but could have been significantly better with using a different engine, or just, I don't know, picture art or something else, and with some background music. It's way too empty and wooden sounding. The graphics also aren't the finest, so if you're just basing your opinion on this, just looking at it, you'd have an excuse not to really play this game. It's just looking at it, it does kind of look very unappealing, although I assure you there is actually some gameplay behind it, which is, while not the most addictive, not the most strategic, there is an element of strategy to it. Now, my next gripe comes in the form of the first level. It's against Malicious. It's really too difficult to win an outright victory, or at least win it quickly. This can see you playing for many, many minutes if you're just starting out. The problem is that in the beginning, Malicious, while not unbeatable, is quite a bit better than you, and tends to hurl damaging fireballs from a distance, so it's really tough to nail them down with just wolves or fireballs. On the plus side, before every level, as you were just shown, you can get to choose the difficulty. So if there's a particularly difficult one, like the first one, I would always stick it on the easiest level. And after each level, depending on what degree you've completed it, you receive experience, which can go towards your health, mana reserves, or the number of creatures that you can summon. Now, the point of the game really is just to cast spells and summon creatures while recharging your mana on the orange pads that you see. And then you sort of go around the map and you pick up food that you find along the way, and really just killing the enemy hero. Now, later levels see you sneaking into a troll camp, as you see here, sort of using a shape-shifting spell, defending a village from marauding goblins is the next one, and also stopping a twisted fire starter in a forest full of dryads. So there's quite a bit of I suppose difference, a bit of diversity to the missions. I mean, it mostly is just destroying the enemy hero, really. That's pretty much the form it takes. Although, as I said, the sneaking mission in the troll camp is a little bit different, and actually pretty tough, to be honest. I only just about survived that one. And here's the one where you once you've defeated the goblin attack, you then go into the mines just to sort of behead the goblin and bring it back to the villagers to get some booty. Along these side missions, you get more information about the whereabouts of Milesius, and finish up with acquiring more experience and ingredients which can be put in chaos, law, or neutral talismans, and allow you to customize what spells you use. For instance, each ingredient, as shown here, you acquire after each mission, or roughly that, takes on a different spell depending on whether it be chaos, neutral, or law. Creatures included in the game include trolls, centaurs, minotaurs, dragons, fairies, and elf bowmen. It's a very workable system, although the casting of spells on screen while controlling the character can be tough with just one mouse, and so avoiding enemy projectile spells but returning some yourself can be quite difficult. The enemies you unlock in the defeat in the game are unlocked in the battle mode, which is a good addition to the game, and you'll see that a little bit later. And this battle mode is like a skirmish mode. It increases the longevity of the game and has a couple of modes and enough maps really, and customizable parameters to really keep you happy. This definitely adds a lot of replay value to the game. But the gameplay, like the story modes, can feel pretty dead at times, as you wonder about casting spells, capturing mana pads, and trying to kill the enemy baddies. The graphics, the lack of real music, any good sound effects all create a really lifeless feel to the game, unfortunately. Even if it actually can be quite fun at times, it's just there's no kind of background sort of things going on. And annoyingly, the fog included in the game makes losing track of enemy heroes very easy. They can just walk across the map, and it's because they move at the same speed as you, it's quite easy for them to lose you in the fog. And alternatively, you can have pop-up armies just emerging from nowhere and just can completely take you by surprise, and it can be very annoying to defend against. So here is the battle mode. It's just skirmish mode. It's very customizable, and as I said, it adds longevity to the game. There's plenty of maps to play on, and you can have plenty of players. There's also a multiplayer online mode as well, although as anyone who reads or listens to my reviews, they know that I don't really play that for that. But the offline is pretty good. The controls could be better, as mentioned, and as could the cutscenes, the voice acting, and the general polish to the game. Despite all this, it is actually a pretty playable game, though you wouldn't know just from looking at it. I do recommend The Art of Magic to fantasy strategy-minded fans, as it is on the sold-out range in the UK. You can pick it up for £5, and if you happen to fall for it, and that's a pretty big if, there is just enough to keep you occupied for a bit. Just don't expect a completely well-finished game. The basics are there, and I'd buy a sequel, but for now, it gets a 6 out of 10. And that's me.